are live.
You asked for it. We are just getting this ready on all our social media pages. We're so happy you join us. It's Monday night. Actually, going to save that topic for a little bit. So we are ready to show. Ha!
Up and up.
We are up on Facebook. We are up on Jess FM. We are up on
YouTube Live. That's www.facebook.com/JessFM and also www.jesstv.com.
You are here with You Asked For It.
So we have Levi Cox and Austin Walsh here on this Monday evening. It is 7 o'clock at night on Monday, January what? Today? I don't even know.
21st.
21st.
Do you know today is known as Blue Monday?
Blue Monday. It is the number one saddest day
Of the year.
Of the year, apparently. Do you think that's because everyone gets their bills today?
That's exactly why. It's all
like
the
back to reality after Christmas. When you spend all your shit.
holidays, New Year's, your Visa bill is in. So they officially call this Blue Monday, which is hilarious because one of my favorite songs is called Blue Monday by Soft Cell.
Oh.
And it's one of my favorite songs, but I never knew that that's what it meant. But, you know, how should I feel when you treat me
Is
like
that
you
song
do?
called Blue Monday?
It's called Blue Monday.
Oh, it's not Manic Monday, it's Blue Monday.
So I hope you're all not feeling too blue this Monday with your bills coming in and the New Year's kicking your butt. But we're here to uplift you and get you ready for your week. And we've got a ton to talk about.
Yes, we do. We have some great topics today.
We do.
And we're excited to gab about them. Little girl talk.
Hey, I like your tie tonight.
Oh,
Your
thank you. I like yours,
a
actually.
little Western wear. We are here filming in Lethbridge, Alberta at the Jess FM studio. So,
A little Western inspiration. So, this is one of our topics today. We were posting on social media just to promote about this. The day after drag.
So it's like the day after tomorrow. It's like it feels like the end of the world, the apocalypse.
Yeah, 28 days later, like when your penis finally starts to come back.
Oh my gosh, Austin. Okay, so
day after drag.
Okay, so if you're on our social media, I posted a lot of videos of the performances from Saturday night's drag roulette at Club Didi.
Lip sync roulette.
But you know what's crazy? Those videos just uploaded right before we went on air.
It took a full 24 hours. Facebook somehow flags Levi's posts every single time because you put too many videos up with music as the background. So they really make sure that you're tortured as they review your music situation.
Yeah, this is like a real problem. I want to post stuff as it's fresh. This is who I am. I like to have my finger on the pulse. And so Facebook is somehow always flagging my videos because I have music in them. We've been shut down here on You Asked For It because of it. So when I'm conflicted at this because we're performing to artists' music, but we're promoting the music. We're not stealing it. We're not making money off of it. And
I wish we could make money off of it. Amazing.
I wish we could make money off of it too.
I'd buy some nicer clothes for Salem.
So when I posted to promote tonight's show, I noticed that yesterday's video was uploaded, and I'm a little embarrassed because I wanted to delete one of them.
Whoa. I knew which one that was.
But it's up on air right now, so if you are... watch our show and then check out. I won't delete it because we're going to talk about it. So.
Okay.
So today we are talking about the day after.
When it's back to reality and your body hurts.
Yeah. A lot of you might feel this way after going out Saturday night, partying hard. You go dancing, or you do a spin or yoga class, or you get ready for an event. And then the next, you're in heels, you're in a suit and tie.
Corset.
You've shaved, you're in a corset.
Too tight a bra, apparently. Remember we had a really big conversation with some of our gal pals about improperly fitting bras, which for a man, maybe that's more common.
You know how good it feels to get that suit off and get into bed. And so, it hits us even a little bit harder, I think.
Yeah, especially because we're drinking the pain away.
Yeah.
So we have to deal with that on top of everything.
Even getting ready for tonight's show was a little bit painful, to be honest.
But we look great. You look amazing.
Oh, thanks. All I can do after a night of drag and performing and staying up too late and stressing myself out is put on some moisturizer and just try to get through it.
For me, I like to have a couch day.
Yeah.
Every time. I literally like do absolutely nothing. Maybe I'll eat a bowl of popcorn, but I won't wear anything other than my onesie, my giraffe onesie, for like the whole day. Drink lots of water.
Well, I know for celebrities nowadays, they're basically doing drag. These women are expected to have Spanx and corsets and done up in such a way for TV and performances and appearances that I actually give them a lot of credit for doing this day in and day out. And I know all you women on the daily who do heels and makeup, I'm proud of you too. But it takes a lot. I thought it takes a lot. I don't know how J-Lo does it. Like, how does Mariah do it? I mean, they probably have masseuses who come massage them after a performance. I don't know.
Yeah, as their shoes are coming off. Just go right into the foot massage.
I talk about this with some of our other drag friends, queens and kings, and, it is hard. Like, you go through all this stuff, you shave your face, you shave your underarms, now you're packing on makeup and spray tan and Spanx, and then you're just like, the next day you're just like, stop.
I feel like a bald alien.
Yeah.
Who hurts because they just worked out.
Yeah, it's also a workout too.
It is. My calves, I'm like, I gotta start working out because like my thighs, my calves, I'm always in pain.
I noticed
Not
that.
to complain because I love doing drag actually. The art form behind it and just like performing. I feel like myself when I'm on that stage.
I feel like I'm gonna say this wrong, but Thea Noon?
Yeah.
On
Or
Facebook.
like Thea No One.
No, Thea Noon, one of our... Oh, I don't know.
I think her last name is No One.
Oh, well,
I don't know,
Anyway, she
actually.
said, I'm going to wear high heel boots all for my workouts because Christy Cox's legs are amazing, so thank you so much.
Well, you gotta
It is a
do
workout.
something to have legs like yours, Chrissy.
So, let's talk a little bit about Saturday night at Club Didi.
Yeah, it was so much fun. We had lip sync roulette, so basically it was two teams of local drag performers, kings and queens.
Yeah.
We had like 5 on each team, I think.
Yeah.
But we also had 2 drag couples
Yeah.
that were split onto opposite teams.
True.
So you and I
True.
and Jamie and Adam,
Yeah.
or their drag personas. And basically there's a big game board with cards that have different topics that are super obscure, and whoever like has control of the board picks a topic, whichever team, and then a song plays, and you pick like 1 player or 2 player or 3 or whatever the card calls for, and you don't know what song's gonna play, so you just have to like battle it out and pretend you know what's going on.
Yeah, it's really hard when you're not prepared, so you don't know what song's going to come on, you don't know who you're up against, and then you go up there and you got to do your thing.
And you win the round by audience applause or however the hell Deani's feeling at that moment.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That was fun.
Yeah, so we
It was
had
so much fun.
We had a moment. We've never done this together, so this was going to be our first time pitted against each other in a lip sync roulette. And
Head to head.
I was really nervous
Boob
about
to
it
boob.
because you're a really talented performer.
So are you.
I know, but you're a singer, and that's like it's your
Oh.
thinger.
My thinger. Singer's my thinger.
Yeah. So we got called up, and I was like, okay, here we go. It's Chrissy Cox versus Salem Salem. But then Didi looked at me and said, can you tag me out? It's my favorite song.
Yeah.
And took over for I Need a Hero. And that was, you guys epically battled that out.
We battled a couple times. We had some good rematches over and over again. She won some, I won some.
Yeah. So one of the topics I want to talk about tonight was what happens when you fall and how do you get back up? Because we all fall at moments of life. And sometimes when we think we're riding high,
You're on stage, you're Beyonce.
and then you fall
tumble.
off.
You're Madonna, somebody doesn't rip your cape off properly and
Yeah.
rips you off the stage. Or you're Chrissy Cox and you miss stuff during a Bat Out of Hell Meatloaf number and
God.
take a tumble.
So, like sometimes when you're in life, you're riding high on your game, and then something throws you off. Maybe it's an unexpected bill, a car accident, now you don't have your car. Like, things happen in life where you're like, you're riding high, and all of a sudden you're like, knees are cut, jobs cut. There's all these things. Like,
Yeah.
how do you get back up and do it again?
Pride. Ego. I will say sometimes ego in those situations are a good thing.
Ego?
Yeah. Sometimes just like the ego of not like wanting to appear as a failure or anything, like just makes you get up, keep going, and
true.
plug through. So in those situations, I honestly, for me, it feels like ego is like the driving force behind it. And like,
Adrenaline?
do you know what I mean? Yeah, well, adrenaline too,
But pride.
and stage performances. But I don't want to appear as like a weak person, or for me personally.
Right.
How do you feel about it?
Well, I don't know. You get that adrenaline, that fight or flight moment, and it's
Yeah.
just like, you know, when you find yourself all of a sudden struggling, like, how are you going to handle it when you're up against adversary, and you just like got to get back up and keep going. You got to, I don't know,
I also find, like, especially at Club Didi, it's so
supportive.
easy to just keep going because the audience is so supportive, and they're like, "Go, Chrissy!" or
Oh
like
my gosh.
everyone's like a family. Like, we're like a big group of 60 of our closest friends just hanging out. You know
Right.
what I mean? So it's easier to get back up if you fall, or, you know, it's like a very safe space. There's no criticism.
Right.
Whereas, like, other venues maybe we've performed at, like, there could be some audience members that really, like, shake you because they're not as interactive, or they, like, turn your back on you, or something happens, you know what I mean?
Right. Maybe I was being a little more analytical
Yeah.
about it, like, you know, not just in this performance situation.
But, like, a metaphor.
A metaphor,
of
there
life.
you go, like-
When you get cut at the knees, what do you do?
Yeah, like when Justin Bieber puked on stage, you know, and he ran off. He flighted, you know.
Yeah. Well,
When-
he
when
was
Fer-
sick, poor little baby.
When Fergie peed her pants on stage, she kept performing, you know.
Who hasn't peed their pants, though, honestly?
Well, not
Some
on
people
stage.
just don't do it in front of millions of people. Oh, jeez.
So here was the situation. Austin and I finally got to go up against a lip sync battle with each other, but they played this song, and it was a minute and a half of like rock music, and at that point we're just like, we don't know what to do other than rock out.
Yeah, we had like our like little couples moves. We did the Charleston together,
Yeah, we didn't actually understand the song. We were actually like waiting for some lyrics.
and
so
we kept
could
waiting
battle.
for the words to kick in. Yeah,
And so we're just rocking out. I'm flinging my ponytail. You're playing air guitar, and I just like fly off the stage.
I was like literally like lifted up my leg and was trying to play it like a guitar, and he went off the stage. I was like, "You stole my moment, bitch."
So I did.
You
I
won.
Yeah.
That battle.
So I
You
did.
won.
I did upload that video, and yeah, I do fly off the stage, and I won. So
Yeah, sometimes like, you know, you just gotta have a really strong gimmick. You totally did that on purpose, right?
yeah. Mhm.
See, ego.
So anyway, we want you to know that Club Didi always has amazing events going on, and if you want to come, it's for the whole community. You don't have to be identifying as queer. Just
You
come.
just have to identify as a friend
Yeah. So come on
who
down.
wants to watch some wicked performances and hang out and sometimes dance in your panties.
So follow Chrissy and Salem's Instagram page, and follow Club Didi on Facebook, and you can have all the events coming up.
And Pride Fest too, actually.
And, well, yeah, of course.
Like, speaking of events coming up with Club DD, we have some of that to talk about too, if you want to go there.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about some of the upcoming events we have this week. And we are going to talk some major, we have some really good topics, so just stay tuned. We're just going to do a little bit of this housekeeping, and then we got some great topics coming up for you.
So the first one is the Naked Monologues coming up on the 23rd.
Of
which-
February.
Oh, that's, yeah, February 23rd. That's
it's
the first
another
one
month.
we're going to talk about.
So, naked monologues.
Yeah, is exactly what you're picturing it to be. People are reading monologues, butt naked.
So if you want to do a naked monologue and you are over 18 years old, then you can come and try out at Club DD for the naked monologues.
Yeah, here's some Shakespeare and look at some boobs.
And following up right after the naked monologues is Pretty Witty and Gay, which is a great variety show, and that is March 2nd at the Sterndale Bennett, I believe.
Yes.
I think it's the Sterndale Bennett, but it's for Club DD as well. And that's one of our very favorite events of the year. And a lot of these things, if you miss out on them, you have to wait another year for. So Pretty Witty and Gay is an annual event, and it's actually the event I first appeared in drag over 8 years ago.
That's one of my favorite ones too. And Catwalk, who's the sponsor of our show,
Is also the sponsor
is
for Pretty Witty and
yeah,
Gay.
the official sponsor of Pretty Witty and Gay this year, which is pretty cool.
I know they're doing auditions, so if you have a talent, a monologue, a story, a dance routine, a circus act, and you
Puppet,
want
performance, anything you want, as long as it has some queer content, they're looking for you.
yeah, so if you want to perform in Pretty Witty and Gay, you can contact Club DD.
Yes. The most recent one that's coming up this coming weekend is Homo Highness, which is kind of like a singing cabaret show. And all of the songs are kind of like either like who is your queer icon or who's like somebody who's inspired you as a queer person. So it's very open to interpretation, but there'll be some really cool songs doing that. I myself am performing this weekend. I'm singing a song, maybe two.
We are everywhere.
Yes. I like to perform.
You can't get away from us. So yeah, that is the Homo Highness this Saturday at Club Didi. So you got some live music and local talent. All types of songs and performances happening. So again, I always look forward to that as well.
Oh, and thanks, Haley and Joanne. I'm seeing your comments. February 9th, we also have Valentine's is Such a Drag.
We're getting way ahead of ourselves, though, because we have to talk about this Thursday. Is our first event we got to talk about.
Oh,
so
okay.
yes, they're like
Well,
we're just getting
cut that off. Let's go to Thursday.
Sorry, but we're just getting a little out of order here. This Thursday we have an event at Nikuyuku Gardens.
Which has nothing to do with Club Didi. That is Pride Fest.
Yeah, but it's before these other events we're talking about.
That's true.
So if you want an event this Thursday before the weekend, before Valentine's Day, this Thursday night we're offering a new event. What is it? You pronounce it. You're better Japanese.
It is Yukinoju, which is Snow Queen in Japanese, and I think maybe they're reworking the title of that. But it's basically the Winter Lights Festival. It's happening at the Nikayuko Gardens here in Lethbridge this Thursday. Opens 6 o'clock until 9 o'clock. Tickets are $5 a person, and there'll be some really wicked performers there.
So the Gardens has actually reduced the price to make this an all-ages, family-friendly event put on with the Gardens and Lethbridge Pride Fest. And so we're going to be playing an anime movie. We're going to have a sake tasting. And they have the garden done up in beautiful lights. And I've looked at the weather, and it looks like it's going to be pretty decent weather that night. So I know they've invited all the GSAs around the city, and anyone is again welcome to come to the Gardens. There's great photo opportunities there. There's this light tunnel, and they put so much work into the Gardens, and they're just such a great sponsor for Lethbridge Pride Fest. And we're just really trying to diversify, what you can do in Lethbridge and what's going on. So I think it's just going to be really cool. We don't get to show up till 7, though. We're going to be a little bit late.
We're always late. It's all good.
So, yeah, please come out this January 24th. If you haven't seen the Japanese Gardens in the winter, they've really upped the game. And Austin's been here 3 years and never seen the Gardens.
I've never seen it, not even once. And I love Japan and Japanese culture, so I'm excited to actually go experience it for once.
Yeah, so in the summertime, it's such a different experience. But, yeah, now it's the Light Festival. I'm excited to get a selfie in that light tunnel.
Any selfie experience I'm in for.
I think they're still calling for performers for this event. So if you do like to dress up, and not just in drag, but as an anime character.
Yeah, I think they're doing kind of like a Comic-Con experience in a Japanese setting too, aren't
Yeah,
they?
so if you would like to dress up as your favorite anime character, or you already have a costume, or just want to bring out your anime flair, or whatever flair you have.
Like Harajuku street style.
Yeah, then it's a great night to bring that out and get together. And I don't know exactly who's performing, but we're working on all that. So if you'd like to perform or just show up in a costume, that's definitely, you're not going to feel like you're alone or standing out. So it's going to be very cool.
I'm excited for it.
So even if we're late, we're going.
Of course we're going.
We're going to do that last blow dry and run out of there.
Yeah. Get out of here. Hey, early. Bye.
We got to go. And then, okay, so what's happening on Valentine's Day?
So February 9th, it's a Valentine's Day is Such a Drag.
Is that with...
That's with Club Didi.
Okay.
And I believe it's at Club Didi.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure, though, but you can look on Club Didi's website, and that'll be up on there as well, and also Club Didi's Facebook page. So you have that. And I just want to remind everyone that, Last Minute Lethbridge is a thing, but these things actually sell really fast. So if you're interested in going, don't wait.
Yeah.
Buy your tickets because they sell out so fast. And we always say, they'll just come to next year or whatever, but there might not be a next year. Just come, enjoy the moment, and come support your local performers and your local companies and
that's nice.
businesses. Just do it now. Don't wait until last minute,
don't
please.
take advantage of it.
If you can't get in because you waited till last minute, please don't message Levi and say, can you get me in? Because it is what it is. Just try and show up.
Also, I think we're going to be doing a Palentine's at Slice with Lethbridge Pride Fest.
Oh, yeah?
So
awesome.
It's another, man.
So we got lots coming up.
We got so
Keep
much
your
coming
eyes
up.
peeled.
We'll make sure you are hearing about it constantly. So now we're going to go into some global news. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're off to Vegas at the end of this month.
Yeah, we're going February 1st to 5th.
Oh my
for like a
gosh.
wonderful conference. But when we were there, we were thinking like maybe we would go see Lady Gaga.
Yeah, we're going to go see Lady Gaga.
Maybe.
We need to book those tickets like yesterday.
And they're still available, speaking of last minute people. But those prices are like pretty hiked up there.
Yeah, Lady Gaga, not only does she have millions of fans, won Grammys, and she's had, 4 or 5 fantastic albums. She's now...
Got a Vegas residency.
And she's a Hollywood leading lady with coming out with her second film, but first starring role in Star is Born, and she's riding high on that. So Gaga has now divided her show into 2 different...
Yeah, so she has the one, which is called the Enigma Tour.
Yeah.
And then she's also added the jazz piano concert.
Yeah, so our friends went to Lady Gaga for New Year's Eve, and they said there was definitely 2 different crowds there. There was the little monsters, rah, 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 and then there was all these people who were wanting to see Star is Born Lady Gaga. And they actually said after that she did the Star is Born songs, like in The Shallows, people got up and left the concert.
Because they weren't into it?
Yeah, like older
Or that's
people.
all they wanted to see.
Yeah, like they were there for like Star is Born Gaga, and they thought the Bad Romance and stuff was too much.
Well,
Isn't
she
it interesting?
is a performer who's been around for a lot longer than this year.
Yeah, so
And
she has a large
very
catalog.
large catalog that's not just that, but I understand that.
Well, I remember Madonna.
But also, that's rude.
I
Don't
know.
get up and leave. If say we were just talking about this in drag, when sometimes the audience can throw you off. I couldn't imagine being a big performer. Not that she actually gives a flying F, but that's still so rude. If somebody's performing, you paid your money, just enjoy the show.
Madonna said that when she performs her ballads in Vegas, people get up and go get a hot dog, and she's just like, whatever.
Well, sometimes you need a little hot dog to get through it.
Oh, it's so rude. You just
I
said it
have
was
no
rude.
idea.
You just said it was rude.
No, I'm
Oh.
just being flippant.
Okay. He's in a flippant mood tonight. So, okay, so anyway, Lady Gaga was feeling flippant at her recent concert.
Yes.
So last night, in the middle of a song, so we're not even...
on her Enigma tour, in the middle of her song.
So not even like, I'm going to stop and this is planned. She just stopped playing, and she says, this government shutdown in USA needs to stop. And she said to the president, this needs to stop. Your citizens are living paycheck to paycheck, and they need to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. That wasn't where she quit
They
either.
need their money, she said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people are
and
leaving
she
paycheck.
kept going, but she stopped right in the middle of her song to talk about this. She
Well-
just couldn't hold it anymore.
Well, it's ridiculous. You're now 30 days without pay.
Yeah, today was day 31 of
And-
the government shutdown.
And the last food stamps that were being sent out have been sent out. So now people are just screwed.
Yeah.
Get it together.
And there's a lot of deemed essential employees that are still going and having to work and not getting paid for it, and they won't get back paid for it either.
Some will, but a lot won't. Any contract workers?
TSA.
Yeah, I saw this poor 76-year-old woman who's works part-time for the government to make her bills, and she's a contract worker, so not one of their full-time, but still works full-time as a janitor, part-time as a janitor. She won't get paid back, and she's not able to pay her bills and her rent. So it's really ridiculous, all over the forcing of a outdated idea of a wall. So there's lots of ways you can do border security and amp that up without that. So Lady Gaga wasn't done after
No.
calling out the end of the government shutdown.
She then decided to take down Pence.
So you tell us about that one.
So she basically just slammed him and his wife, because his wife is now employed at the school, that in their policies do not accept any children of LGBTQ plus families or any children that are identifying as LGBTQ plus.
Or teachers.
Or teachers. And she literally said that Pence is the worst representation of Christian.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah, you are the worst representation of a Christian, Mike Pence.
Yeah, so
oh
she
my
really
gosh.
went
Is it Mike
for it.
Pence?
And then I think she just started singing again after that.
Yeah.
But whoa, heavy moment. But I'm kind of glad all these celebrities are actually using their platforms for change now.
But-
and they're not just sitting around.
But seriously, to call someone that they can't have their student in a school, or you can't have an employment because you identify as LGBTQ
Yeah,
plus.
our alphabet.
Yeah. So you can't work there, your kids can't be there. it's ridiculous. So that's not the kind of school or operation. I think that's ridiculous. That's even allowed.
Yeah, and for somebody like Lady Gaga, who
Now has a bigger voice.
but also like probably 80% of her fan base that have been there from the beginning, and not just because she did this brand new movie.
Yeah.
Who've been there through all of it, are part of the community and identify with one letter in that alphabet. So she would take it personally, and she's definitely like sticking up for her fans there.
Well, and it's hard because a lot of people's
got an
careers have been
opinion.
derailed because of speaking up, like Kathy Griffin, and of course the Dixie Chicks, and many people's careers have stalled because they made a political statement. So I'm really proud of her.
Almost.
Yeah, almost.
Oof.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So that was one big news story that we found interesting and we want to talk about. So you asked for it, government shutdown. Pay your people.
You did ask for it. Trump came out with a statement today of like an appeasement or like a plan to like end things, and everyone's eyes just kind of glazed over.
Yeah, no.
It's not happening.
No.
So that happened.
So then there was also this huge uproar about this video I'm sure you all have seen.
It is viral right now.
Where the MAGA hat wearing, MAGA, Make America Great Again hat wearing teen smugly stood in front of an Indigenous elder.
His name is Nathan Phillips.
Nathan Phillips, and I watched an article on him on the internet, and he's a very well-spoken man. No, not only is he an elder, he's also a Vietnam vet. And so I know this story, if you've probably seen this video, this smug kid standing in his space, and he's playing the drum.
Which is so funny how it like came to that, because there was this group of like 4 men who identify themselves as the Hebrew Israelites, were at some Catholic school like gathering to protest something or
It was
whatever.
in front of the parliament.
Yeah, so all these cool kids were there.
Congress.
And these like 4 men were there like shouting insults and being like just awful in general, like awful human beings, but like politically slurring, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So all these kids got together, and it was like, I think like a field trip for the Catholic school board or something like that.
Right.
So all these kids were there, so they started just loudly chanting their school's mottos and things to drown out these 4 people.
But they were also being obnoxious. Their shirts were coming off. They were like rah rah, and like,
and they're all wearing MAGA hats.
and they're all wearing those
Not all, but
a lot of them are wearing those Make American Great Again hats. I'm sorry, but I went to high school and we wouldn't have worn those.
No, we're not even allowed to wear bandanas in schools nowadays because they identify with like gangs.
Well, just
Here in Alberta, like I would never be allowed to wear that hat in my school.
So here's this young fellow who saw this riot kind of situation happening, or actually this elder.
Yeah, so this is in this First Nations elder.
Yeah, Nathan Phillips.
Nathan Phillips, who him and a few of his like peers were also at this place, and they started playing their drums
to try and diffuse the violence.
Yeah.
And so as he was walking and pounding his drum in a very peaceful manner, this kid got in his space.
like within a foot of his face.
And that's
The smuggest look on
that
his face,
smug
too.
look, like anyone who's seen that video, that's why it's gone viral and there's outrage. And this kid's like, I'm getting death threats and I didn't do anything wrong. But you're like in his space, so if he moves forward or left or right, this guy knew that it could cause a riot. He could feel that he was ready to be torn apart in this situation.
Yeah.
And he just proudly played his drum and faced his adversary. And
But it was kind of like, it was definitely some like misdirected tension, and Nathan Phillips actually even talked about that in his interview that we seen. Like, I realize now in hindsight, I maybe put myself into a situation that was
dangerous situation, but he wanted to diffuse the situation.
Well, because they were mad or like had a conflict with this group of 4 men.
Yeah.
That he put himself in the middle of to diffuse something, and then all of the attention turned on him, and it ended up being very negative.
I know nothing about the Hebrew Israelite protesters or what they're really standing for, but obviously
they were there like shouting.
But
That's
also
how the news is portraying it.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, right, but they're also men of color, and there is a thing that these magma hats have become a representation of hate and racism, and I would not be caught dead in one of those things. It's very embarrassing.
And apparently, we're getting information from Joanne Finch saying the pro-life for Catholic school was that group of children.
Oh,
so there are pro-lifers outside and protesting. It says Black Hebrew Israelites, but I think they were just calling themselves the Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah.
So I don't even like to say that they're black.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's what we saw in the news. And so,
Yeah.
but yeah, I do think those kids showing up in the hats and getting all ragey and taking their shirts off and chanting was also very aggressive and not very Christian-like.
And they all have their phones out
And they're
World
filming
Star. It was like a lot of tension over something that I don't even know if it had to quite be that way.
But the elder
There's definitely
knew
some aggressors.
if he pushed forward just a little bit, it could have turned into a violent riot.
Yeah,
and
and
that kid did not help getting
This
in his
little
face. Like this.
like
It's so
privileged
uncomfortable.
white kid in like a Catholic society
Oh my
is
gosh.
now commenting saying like he didn't do anything,
didn't do anything
wrong.
wrong.
I didn't touch him. I didn't even like do anything. But if anyone gets in your personal space and stares you down, that's very ignorant. And I am totally not for his bullshit excuses. I think he was
I will
like
say-
a snotty little kid standing in, and he actually had no idea the weight of his attitude and what that would have done.
All you
and-
have to do, people, is watch this video for yourself.
Even look at the thumbnail
Look at the thumbnail.
of the picture of just like the elder beating the drum and this like little shitty attitude kid with his like smug smile. That's my opinion.
Yeah, just take a look, and you will have your own opinion to form on that situation.
But I don't think that kid has any room to feel bad for
I think
his actions.
Oh, he should feel bad about his actions. The kid.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like he should feel bad, but he has no room to like feel bad for how people are perceiving it.
He's not going to be seen as a hero, people.
No, not
and,
at all.
And I thought
Especially in that hat.
I thought it was really great that Nathan Phillips said he worries about the youth's souls and their spirits. So he wanted to just use it as souls.
But isn't that just like what you say when people piss you off? I'm praying for you. Isn't that like just a different way of saying that? I pray for you.
I'll just say they're not well. They're not well.
Question their sanity.
So I don't know if you got to.
I don't know. It just seems like a lot of conflict, and it's gone off. But that elder did nothing wrong. Nathan Phillips did nothing wrong. I'm
Well-
gonna stop calling him the elder and start calling him by his name.
Yeah,
'cause
but
he deserves that recognition.
Right. I agree. So we tried to look up some Canadian news topics, but they just were not popping.
No, because I think in Canada we just don't sensationalize our news the same way that CNN and Fox News does in the States.
Well,
Definitely.
we are still part of the Americas, so this does affect us, and we do have a voice, and we have an opinion on this because we share a border with a country that is very volatile right
the
now.
largest land border in the world.
Yeah.
And it's like often not even recognized by them.
They don't even notice.
They like think Canada is a floating island or something.
I also kind of sometimes get worried. Like, honestly, in my personal opinion, sometimes I just think that we're just a big freshwater oil food producing reserve for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it does make me leery with all the instability in the USA. So we do follow the topic. So we have some really exciting and proud news, and we're going to talk about
that. Though.
which one?
The hats becoming.
Oh, we did. Did they become a symbol for racism?
I don't think we said it though.
I said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. The Magna hat is a symbol of. Yeah.
Yeah, it's becoming this symbol of like
I said that.
racism.
Oh,
Okay,
totally.
Well, apparently he said it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I mean, because that Donald guy, is very racist, and he doesn't even make any qualms about it, and he's made all these statements. So
Anyone wearing that hat is like synonymous with racism now, even whether their views are that way or not.
well, you don't
It's just
see
synonymous.
many people of color wearing those hats. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the new hat for that group. Okay, so here we go. We're going to talk about some very exciting news. Let's go a little
Yes.
more uplifting.
More positive.
So, Senator,
Kamala Harris.
thank you for pronouncing that, Austin. Kamala Harris. I can do
Yeah.
that. Okay, Kamala Harris, I always mess up names, is running for President of the United States for the 2020 elections.
So she announced her election campaign yesterday
Yeah.
on Martin Luther King Day.
Wow. That's a statement.
Yeah, but she's from Oakland, California, so she went and launched her campaign in Oakland, her birth town.
Yeah.
But she is the junior senator for California, so she's like a prosecutor, and she has just kind of like based her career on being this like fair prosecutor right now.
So Kamala Harris also is a woman of color. She comes from a Jamaican father and an Indian mother.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not only our second female running for president, but a woman of color. So this is very exciting stuff.
Yes.
So-
So
She-
on top of all these things, like
Yeah.
back when in 2013, when California was going through like Prop 8 and everything,
Yeah.
when they decided to reinstate gay marriage rights, she was the first senator, first person to officiate a gay marriage
Mhm.
in California. So she made sure that she was like,
On the forefront of advocating for LGBTQ. Now, this is really exciting stuff. This woman seems charismatic. She has, she was district attorney.
Mhm.
She's got some fight in her, and we need that. And her slogan is "For the people."
yeah. But
So-
she's also keeps putting out these like little hot button trigger words of like justice, truth in all of her campaign videos. So
Mhm.
it's very catchy.
We'll see though, like, because she has to still be chosen as the actual person who will run for president. So she's just putting her name in the running. So then the party has to choose if that's who they're going to back.
Yeah.
But still, it's really exciting. I know they're already digging for dirt on her,
Mhm.
and in her past and in her father's past, there was some anti-marriage equality stuff.
Mhm.
So,
Her
she-
father was like a pastor of some sort.
yes, and Jamaican, and we know already that the Jamaican population in general, not everybody, is not very pro-LGBTQ plus, and either is anywhere in the Caribbean. Unfortunately, it's still illegal to be gay.
In Jamaica. Not all of the Caribbean.
I think so.
No.
And Cayman Islands.
That's one country. There's like probably over 1,000 islands in the Caribbean.
I know in the Caribbean that it is mostly illegal to be gay.
Okay.
It's very not good. I'm sorry, I don't like to go visit the Caribbean. It's horrible. I had a bad experience with that. So they have a lot, and they do this. If you come out as, it doesn't happen all the time, but if you come out as lesbian in Jamaica, they'll do like a rape therapy where men will get together and rape the lesbian until she likes the same sex or the
That's
opposite sex.
Awful.
Yeah.
I think we're like derailing a little
But
bit.
I'm just
here.
saying, but that's where her father came from. It's very harsh.
Mhm.
It's very harsh there, and they have songs that promote violence towards homosexuals. So the fact that her dad wasn't really pro LGBTQ at first,
Mhm.
I understand why.
Mhm.
You know, and I've known people who are refugees from there to come to Canada and America because of the hate. So
Asylum.
yeah.
Mhm.
So when Camilla has came forward and said, I do not share those views anymore. I'm here for marriage equality.
She also shared this like 8 years ago too, so it's not like she's just saying it now to
Yeah,
save face.
she
is a
said
long
this
time
years ago before she was ever running, but this is what's going to be drug up against her.
Mhm.
So this is what she's going to be.
We'll see what else they drag up because she's a woman and a person of color, and we know some of the political parties in power right now are
The Magna
very
Hat-
anti that.
Yeah, they don't like women or people of
We'll
color.
see what other things they drag up and sensationalize.
Yeah.
Where do we drain the swamp with her situation?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was just really excited to see her in some speeches and some performances or videos because she's very strong, and that's
Yeah.
what we need. Positive and for the people.
Yeah, you have to be that way. We're like totally need to have an upswing right
We,
now.
need, we need the world to upswing for 2019.
Yeah,
So,
because the free world is in chaos
Yeah.
politically right now.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I know, it's weird.
Britain, Canada, U.S. We're like all in such chaos.
And even Australia recently.
Yeah, it's like it's a thing.
Australia, you are our one true hope.
You're our sister.
You got
Big
rid of
sister.
Yeah, you're a big sister, right? Is that what they say? Mm-hmm. Well, and I know that.
Well, we're both like part of the Confederation.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah. Any like country that's a part of like British power.
They call it Confederation.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
didn't-
Canada is a part of the Confederation.
Oh, really?
That's why, like, the Queen is on our money.
All
That's why
right.
the Queen is on Australia's money.
Oh,
Because
is it?
we're all under British rule. Britain is our figurehead.
Well, I always thought
We
Confederation
run
was a bad
ourselves,
word.
but no. Confederation means together.
I see Francesca Dynamites is commenting, "You better be performing at Pretty Witty and Gay.
Yeah.
You are one of our most talented queens in this city." And you're like, I was like,
Francesca Dynamites will be at Pretty Witty and Gay.
yeah, she's also been on Jess FM. I think she might have her own show.
She does.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I saw Cooking with Francesca.
Yep.
So we got derailed a little bit there. So let's talk a little bit about what's happened in Australia.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell me.
So in Australia, Melbourne is one of the top cities, maybe the number one city in the world to live in. I know Calgary.
Top
and,
5.
Yeah,
Adelaide, I think, might be number 1.
right, Adelaide. Calgary, Vancouver are in there.
Mhm.
Toronto's in there. And Melbourne, where our great friend David Sullivan moved away to. They are like just, there's no guns, there's no violence. They do still have some issues with their Indigenous people, so there's some racism alive and well there. But they all, I don't approve of that. But there is, they've always been very pro LGBTQ plus, but there's been 2 recent very violent and horrible attacks against women in Melbourne, one of the nicest cities in the world. So, a famous comedian was attacked, raped, and killed after a show. And now an Israeli student has suffered the same fate. So it's really stressful to see that the hate is spread as far as Australia and this violence against women. So it's upsetting to me. And I actually messaged my friend David and said, "How are you guys doing? And how does Melbourne reacting to this? Because they're just not used to any kind of scandal like this." So he was like, "Thanks for thinking of us, and it's so weird." They're just in a society that doesn't have these typical violent acts that happen so much in our society.
It's just so shocking when things like that happen when they're not a part of your culture, or like you don't align with it, or like a whole majority doesn't align with it, and then it happens. It's very shocking.
Yeah.
But it just makes me want to move to Japan and live in this like kawaii world where like everyone just works hard for each other. And
But even in Japan, I can't even be happy. They don't have, they have like, what, 8 bullets shot a year? It's like something like the stats. The police shoot 8 bullets a year.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I'm even disappointed in Japan lately because they started whaling again after 30 years. The older people, the older generation want more whale meat. So now they're going and like harpooning the whales, and the younger generation is like, we can do without whales.
It's a part of their tradition, but they have one of the largest populations in the world.
Oh my gosh, but 30 years without
Per capita.
whaling? Why are we whaling again?
Well, yeah, and they were like whaling still through that with
Illegally.
No, they like found a way around it with
A loophole.
research.
Oh.
So they were doing it for research.
Leave the
And
whales
there
alone.
was no wasted product, basically, is how they were like going around it. But they've just opened up commercial whaling again.
Oh my gosh, so they were saying it was for research, but then they wouldn't waste any of the product.
Yes.
So they could make perfume and impotency.
Well, whale meat for traditional practices or part of the traditional cuisine and stuff.
Well, I know a lot of like perfumes and stuff like were made with.
I don't think that so much
No.
happens anymore, but it was a big thing. Even like Chanel as early as, or like as late as, I think the 50s.
Yeah.
I do know a little bit about this, but they were using ambergris, which is
Right.
a whale product, in their perfumes and cosmetics.
Right.
Yeah. So, and not just Chanel, everyone. Ambergris is a thing.
Ambergris.
And it does smell really good. I don't know why whale byproduct smells delicious, but it does.
Yeah. So this is a topic that we maybe could have covered last week, but we just really weren't ready. We weren't in the right state of mind to cover it. And so we've been talking a lot about global events, but we're going to talk about
Some Lethbridge scandal.
some Lethbridge local events that we're just like really not into. It's really upsetting, and we're going to talk about the police officer and the deer.
Oh, dear.
We're calling this segment Dear Oh Dear.
Oh, my goodness. So we kind of touched a little bit on it last week, but maybe we'll go more in depth. And I have, like, actually...
We got some
like,
insight.
talked with clients who are
Don't
on
say
the
clients,
police
just say
force.
police officers.
Well, anyone. Doesn't matter. I'm not saying names.
Yeah, right. we have had some inside information. So for all you listeners who are not local, what we're about to talk about is a horrific viral video of a really just all over sad and tragic thing, and also sad and caught on film.
Well, let's get to it. Meat and potatoes here.
Okay, so what happened is an officer came across a deer hit in the city limits.
They were dispatched
to
deal with a deer who had been hit and had its back legs broken.
So
it's on the road.
We don't know how long it's been there, but we have to tell our listeners, if they're listening from all around the world, that we live in a city with a coulee and in the prairies, and deer have become part of our suburbs. So when you live far west and you live far north, there's quite a few deer who are eating your plants up in your yard,
Just
crossing the street.
Integration.
So,
in
yeah.
Calgary, we had rabbits everywhere.
Well, we have deer, and unfortunately, one had been hit by a car and was injured on the side of the road.
Maimed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's not funny, but
So actually, a side note, because I don't actually want to talk about this topic, but I know we've been asked to talk about it, is some of our customers ask for the hair from Catwalk Salon Spa, the hair we cut off people's heads.
to put in their flower gardens
Yeah.
or vegetable gardens, because deer won't pillage their gardens when there's human hair in it.
So if
apparently that's like some sort of repellent for rodents and deer.
Yeah.
But it is a thing.
So if you ever have deer coming into your yard and eating your flower beds, you can call Catwalk and we will put a bag of hair aside for you, and we will give you clippings of human hair to sprinkle in your garden, and you can see if that stops these deer.
Just disgusting.
From-
I'm mortified by that.
You can have our hair clippings and we can put it in your garden, and then you can see if that helps keep the deer away from your property, and then maybe they're not crossing the road to eat your flowers. I don't know. Maybe we could
Anyway.
the hair is free.
So there was this video of this deer.
I don't want to talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
So this officer was dispatched to deal with it. He got there. The deer was maimed. His back leg's broken. He called in for proper protocol and also to have permission to dispatch or discharge his weapon.
Yeah.
To euthanize this animal. And they would not give him permission because close proximity to the road, blah, blah, blah. So there is a protocol for cats and dogs in this situation
Oh, this is all horrible.
where they are allowed to run the animal over in their vehicles to euthanize. So he did get permission for that.
I know.
That was their recommendation at the police station for that. And we do have this information from an inside source,
Yes.
let's say.
So we all know, and I will not look at the video. I don't encourage any of you to look at the video. I don't think anyone
You don't
needs
need to see it.
the
It
video.
shouldn't be on Facebook. It should be taken down.
Here,
honestly.
and maybe it has been.
And I'm not saying this person made a good judgment call, but I also don't feel like it was their judgment call. They were doing their job, and they were told to do that. That's my opinion.
So in this video for listeners, this officer backed over this deer, and we all know with
A few times, more than once.
so
it was
he-
actually 3 times, I think.
more than that. I heard it was 15. I can't even
Well,
watch
people
it.
exaggerate though. There's
So-
less facts and more emotion happening.
So this deer is backed over many times, and it's not dying easily, and it's a very upsetting video that has, of course, got people outraged. I mean, I'm outraged.
Just talking about it, you're upset.
Yeah, I'm
But-
getting shaky. And so here's the thing: that he went over it several times and till the deer was dead. Now the video was caught by a citizen and uploaded, and people were outraged. And I want you to know, Fish and Wildlife could not be
They were
contacted.
called.
They were called, but could not
And
be
they
contacted.
operate 24 hours, but they will refer a vet to come out, and they were not available at this time. That is also
Yeah.
a fact.
So some people say this officer should have slit this deer's throat, but I don't think a video.
They
of
are
an
not Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're not trained to hop on the back of a deer and slit its throat. This is a
road.
wild one we got here. That's not what the police force in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada is
No.
trained to do.
We also have to understand this is an injured animal, and
That needs to be euthanized. I don't agree that the way that it was carried out was proper, but he has his job, and he was not authorized to dispatch his weapon.
And injured animals do not always respond. We're not talking about an animation. We're not talking about, your beloved pet. And I'm going to tell a side story. My ex-partner, his dog was hit by a car, and when he went up to go get his dog from the street, his dog actually bit through his hand and actually broke the bone in his hand.
Yeah, fight
and
or
he
flight.
was bleeding, and he has a scar to this day. He had to go get a gun and euthanize his own dog, and this was like a monumental moment in his life. And no one wants to see an animal suffering or put down an animal. So this was your beloved pet, and just approaching it, his own dog almost bit his finger off and maimed him for life, and he had to euthanize his own pet.
Mm-hmm.
So going up and grabbing this deer's head and slitting its throat on camera, it could
Not
be
Crocodile Dundee.
flailing around. This officer could be hurt. The animal could have more stress. I know it's terrible. That would have made just as gross a video.
Well, people are so quick to talk, but if somebody overdoses in our back alley, we're afraid to even administer a naloxone kit.
Yes.
Because it's terrifying, and
Yeah.
you don't know what you're going to do in that situation.
Yeah.
And speaking on this, if I can digress
Okay,
just
you digress.
a little bit.
Okay.
People are messaging the police force, they're messaging this officer's family and giving him death threats, they're calling for his license,
Yeah.
things like that. And now they're actually outside the police station in Lethbridge picketing.
Well, last Monday.
It's still happening,
It's a
but
week ago,
they're
but-
picketing, and they're caring more to physically go do something about this deer
Yeah.
than they are about the opioid crisis. Nobody's
Right.
offering any solution or actually getting out there and being public. They're all just on Facebook,
Yeah.
bitching about it online.
Well, they're going out in public too and complaining about it. But I
Not
do.
in the same capacity. They rallied more numbers for this stupid situation.
A sad situation.
It's a very sad situation, but they're rallying more numbers over this death of this deer and to persecute the officer than they are rallying numbers
Yeah.
for other things. That's upsetting for me.
We-
We care more about an animal's life than a human life.
I'll tell you,
As a society.
in our daily life, we've had two overdoses in our alley that we witnessed during our work time, and when our staff go to administrate the needle,
And we all have bleeding hearts for these people. We
Yeah.
want to help.
but just even administrate a needle into their thigh is so traumatizing. I mean, I can't imagine what this. This is upsetting stuff. And I mean, this officer is not even the same, but just that people are so outraged about this deer. But this officer, I'm sure he feels absolutely disgusted and horrified by what happened. And, we talked to an officer who actually came across a deer on the highway, and he was told he could use his gun. And
But it was because it was not in
city limits.
City limits.
So he did use his gun on this deer, but it took him 5 bullets. And he was horrified. He's not a hunter. And so he actually had to shoot this wounded deer point blank 5 times. So there's not a good situation for this. And we all know, if a horse breaks its leg or a cow, they do euthanize them. There's actually no saving these large animals after they break a leg, which is really sad.
Very, very sad.
So we just-
you asked for that.
Yeah, right. So-
Lethbridge.
Okay, so we.
Oh my gosh.
So we thought about how do we get out of this situation? What's going to make this city happy about the situation? Nothing will make us happy about this because there's nothing happy about an innocent animal dying. So, but what we have decided, we talked about as a group, that if someone, the protocol for an injured animal on the street is to reverse over it for a cat or dog. Well, I'll tell you, if you reversed over my little Cleo and she only needed to have her leg amputated, or and you euthanized her with your car, I'd be very upset. So I don't really like the protocol of euthanizing animals with your vehicle, because I'd be pissed if that was my pet, unless they were beyond repair. My
So
mom.
We can totally.
I'm gonna call out my mom. My mom.
It says yuck.
Yeah, my mom ran over our dog Gypsy, and
Don't say
yeah,
that.
my mom hit our dog Gypsy in the driveway, and Gypsy lost her leg, but Gypsy lasted about another 7 years, and so I don't want her run over to be killed. We cut off the leg, and she was 3-legged, tripod, and she was wicked.
But this deer had no back legs.
No.
They were both broken.
Yeah. And so I think the police need to come forward and say,
look at their policy, fix that,
Yeah.
but don't persecute the person who was just doing their job and did ask to dispatch their weapon and weren't allowed to.
So what the city of Lethbridge needs to do to solve the situation, or the police need to look at, is what is the protocol for roadkill and for injured animals in Lethbridge. And I'm sure one of our wonderful vets would volunteer or be paid or compensated for coming out 24/7 to euthanize these animals because they have the proper way to do it. So I think we need a public, policy change, because we do live where wild animals, especially deer, are on our streets. And so in winter, driving conditions can be weird. This is not going to go away. This problem has happened before. It's going to happen again. In fact, I already heard people say there's videos of officers doing this to other deer. I cannot look at them to prove that.
Well, in the States,
Yeah.
with like blue police cars,
Yeah. So
euthanizing via their handguns.
I think we need to look at this policy, and the city could make a statement. The police need to make a statement that they looked into this policy. There's got to be a better way, but I do feel bad. I think we all would have been happier to see a bullet to the deer, but even that's going to be a horrible video.
But also, he wasn't allowed to. It was not his call.
I know. Don't watch the video.
Don't watch it. Facebook, take it down.
Yeah. Let's all volunteer at the animal shelter.
Let's try and end our show on a more positive topic.
Okay, on a
Please.
positive note, here we go. We went to the new Mission Thrift Store out by Costco. It's where the old Sears home was.
Yeah.
Brand new store. It's probably full of all that good stuff because of that Tidy It Up show.
Yeah.
So if you want a new good thrift store to hit, go check out Mission Thrift Store by Costco in the old Sears home.
Backing onto Mayor McGrath.
Yeah, that store is packed.
It's got all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody's picked over it yet. We picked up a really beautiful
Shelf
there today
for
for
$55.
which is very inexpensive and affordable.
So, thank you. You asked for it.
This was Levi Cox and Austin Walsh, and you asked for it only on Jess FM.
Signing off. We'll see you next week.
Have a good Monday,
Mwah.
everyone.